Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on our webinar about community page content with AI. My name is Hank Hansen. I'm on the marketing team here at iHomeFinder, coming to you from the Bay Area, and we have a special guest with us today, Michael Thorne. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Hank, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good.
Michael, you're from TMB Real Estate in just outside Vancouver.
Yeah, and if we have people from Washington State on the call, Hank, I'm outside the real Vancouver, not the fake Washington State Vancouver.
Okay. All right.
Just so you know. That's always
exactly. And you've been an agent for quite a while.
Yeah, 30 years, just finishing up my, I'm in my 31st year. So I've seen it, I've seen it change and evolve over the years, and things like AI that come along now are really exciting. I think I've seen change so often over the last, for sure, 20, maybe 15 years, the first 15 years of my career, not much changed, that I see the opportunities. And we as a team, I work with two other amazing agents, Jordan Maisie and Tricia Bongers. We always try to stay at the forefront and see the opportunities to improve what we do and how we do it for our clients. So the last 6 months have been super exciting.
Great. Yeah, and it was kind of serendipitous how we ended up connecting.
Yeah.
We had just published an article about this subject, and literally, like, within a few weeks, you got in touch with us, and turned out you were an expert at that. And you're like, hey, I could do a webinar for you guys. So we're thrilled to have you. We really appreciate you taking the time to help.
And on that note, it's serendipitous in both ways. I don't think we would have implemented IDX the way we have if it weren't for the opportunities that presented themselves. We didn't see IDX as the reason people particularly come. I think it's the reason why people stay, and AI allowed us to create the reason why they come. And so in that too as well, with the information you put out, all of a sudden you're like, okay, now is the time where we could build out what we want to build out. And I've sent you our Google Search Console results, and the results over the last 2 months from what we've done and with iHomeFinder has just been staggering, the increase in traffic. So it wouldn't have happened either way.
Yeah, those stats were really cool. Yeah, it was great to see. Before we get too much further, just want to make sure everyone's familiar with the webinar platform we're using today. You'll find a control panel on the right-hand side. You can open and close that with that little orange button. You can join the audio with your telephone or mic and speakers, and your phone or mic is muted. However, there is a questions panel there, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of this, and we will answer your questions. Anything that comes up along the way, please do enter them there in the questions panel. And finally, the webinar.
Hank, I've already told you, I love questions. If I can help someone specifically with their business, I love questions. So please, as we go through, put them in there.
Yeah, excellent. And the webinar is being recorded, so everybody who has registered will receive an email by the end of the day today with a link to access the recording, and we'll have a little summary of the webinar, and we will have some downloads for you we're going to talk about in a little bit to help you get your AI game underway. So without further ado, so what are we talking about here? Well, you don't want your real estate website to be sand on the beach, obviously. You want your site to be the starfish or the crab. So that's where your community pages come into play. So maybe, Michael, you could talk to us about, I'm sure this is one of the driving factors behind your choice to put the effort you did into your community pages. Maybe tell us a little bit about that journey and how doing so has helped your team, and how you chose to go down the path of using AI to help do that.
Yeah, sure. So we've always been community focused, just how we present, go forth with our business. But it's any realtor that's been at this for any amount of time understands how community is so much further up the pipeline than type of home or a particular school. People buy a community, then they buy a neighborhood, and then they look for a home. And so when people are out there looking for community information, it's so clear when we just talked about before we can get on the air, Hank, is the search intent. You go do a little bit of Google search queries and find out where the search are, and you can do them, free, and find out sort of the search traffic are. If you type in your particular communities and then the type of home, you'll find out there's a ton of traffic of people looking for that. And so what they're doing is they're already wanting to be halfway down the IDX or information search when they're looking for, Walnut Grove homes for sale. And when we talk about communities, just so people understand the right size, Langley is probably about 120,000 people broken into 8 different distinct boroughs. I'm sure most communities are built that way. Each one of our communities has 1 or 2 high schools and a network of elementary schools, and they're broken up by, highways or, rivers or green belts or agricultural land. And so you're looking for those chunks of distinct neighborhoods or communities sort of in that 15 to 20,000 number, unless there's smaller groups. We got a couple of really great communities here that are much smaller than that are very, very distinct. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for that information. And the big players in the industry won't provide the information people are looking for. And they'll just rely on very, very, easy SEO and obviously their domain authority to win. But those specific questions like Walnut Grove condos for sale is something that the search intent or the content isn't being created by the big players. And that's where we can stand out. That's where we can be the starfish or the crab. And that's what this is about. This is about creating a bunch of community pages in a very efficient manner and providing, that those results of what people are looking for. And so IDX for us was always a reason for people to stay on the page, not necessarily a reason for them to come. And the reason why they come is they're looking for information that they can't find elsewhere. And that's why this project has been such a home run, and it's been made super easy. And I'm going to give away sort of the secret sauce to create. You could create 18 custom pages, by 4 o'clock this afternoon. So it's really amazing, a way to stand out from everybody else.
Yeah, it's pretty startling how quickly you can get really usable content. So we'll get into that. So I just wanted to recap like some of the main benefits you just underscored. Really, is you're differentiating your site from a lot of other sites who are pretty much just listing the community name and the listings and not much else. And then you're really helping to educate and engage buyers, and you're building trust in doing that because people are seeing, well, you know these communities, you're looking to help people. That all helps build trust, and trust is what you need to turn somebody into a client. And all of this stuff also helps your SEO. There's no one silver bullet for SEO. You need to have a strategy, an overarching SEO strategy and goals and chosen keywords and things like that. But that's where this content can come in to support that strategy.
Yeah, and on top of that too as well, creating a web of SEO pages, and I mentioned it real quickly, is domain authority. If you create just one page, it's different than me creating 3 or 4 pages. Even if my 3 or 4 pages are less quality than your single page, when Google feels like you've covered this topic, where you're a broad resource, where there's interlinking between those particular pages, and we'll show you how that, how easy that is. That's when Google says you're the authority in this entire marketplace on the topic of real estate. It's in the quality and quantity of the topic you're covering that makes you stand out.
Yes, and whether or not people are engaging with those pages, it uses that in its rankings as well. Are people coming to the page and leaving, or are they spending time? With this great content on the pages, they're going to be spending time, and you can even, if you want, supplement that with the listing data. So.
And Hank, I also think there's a psychological thing about it too as well. When the pop-up comes, eventually where they have to sign up their information, and there's no particular data or information, there's no specific expertise on the marketplace, but when you give them the information and they feel like you're an expert and that you have answers to their queries, I think psychologically they're so much more willing to give up their personal information because they're betting on the fact that they're going to get value back. No one has a problem exchanging their information for value. And so what you're doing is you're having this ability to demonstrate that you are an expert, that you will have the answers to the questions they're looking for. And so I just think it changes things dramatically when that's perception and reality that you're presenting to the public.
Yeah, great point. Okay, so for those who may not be super familiar with ChatGPT, so it's the website where you can access it is chat.openai.com, and basically allows you to generate human-like text-based conversations. And there's also a great article. We will make sure that you have links to all this in our follow-up content that you get. But for anyone who's just starting out, prompts are how you make a request for ChatGPT to produce content. And this article talks about the basics of writing prompts by Search Engine Journal. So we'll make sure everybody gets that information as well. So if you're starting from square one, you have some resources in addition to what Michael's going to share with us here.
And Hank, on that note, the reason why ChatGPT is the fastest growing platform in the history of humanity, and that's the truth, it is by some margin, is because it takes zero expertise to get great results out of it. Now, you can have amazing results when you prompt it properly, but the point of it being is because it's a natural language model, you have to think of ChatGPT and other platforms like it, Bard and other ones out there, as would it be advantageous to have an expert in SEO, in social media marketing, in business planning, in anything right now sitting next to me? Could I produce what I'm working on faster and at a higher quality if I had an expert in a particular field sitting next to me? And if the answer is yes, that's when you should be jumping on ChatGPT and utilizing that opportunity. And the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to tell it to behave like that expert that you want next to you. And that's all you need to know. If you've got a question about coding, you don't need to know coding. You just have to need to ability to articulate what you're looking for. It's helped us code our website a ton. And all I do is, and I know nothing about coding, I just say, is it possible to have my menus look this way in my Squarespace 7.1 website? And they said, yes, here's the code you would need. Great. Where do I put it? You put it here. And so in anything you do, you don't need to know anything now. You just need to know how to ask the question the same way you would ask a copywriter if you took them out to a coffee shop and you were looking for a blog series about your neighborhoods in your marketplace. You wouldn't know how to write that necessarily, but you'd be able to articulate what you were looking for, and that's all you have to do. And that's why it is so transformative, is it takes no technical skill. It just needs us to communicate. And as realtors, we should be fairly good communicators. So that should be easy.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because we're talking about community pages and it's a very specific application of using ChatGPT. I think once you start using it, you'll realize it'll affect the rest of your business and turn into like a virtual assistant that is something that just is beyond what you can imagine as far as just providing. I mean, you just provided coding examples. So
yeah, MIT came out a report in middle of March of this year, Hank, and everyone listening was really, there's a lot of, sensational, this is going to change your business. MIT came out a report in March before the version 4 model came out, and they found that professionals using ChatGPT were able to decrease their time on project up to 80%. So you get 1 hour of work, I get 5 hours of work. It also found that the output increased 40%. You get 1 hour of work, I get 5 hours of work, and my 5 hours of work is 40% better than your time on task. And so that's something that we just would be foolish to ignore, because if our competition is now 5 timesing their time on task and improving the quality of content, there's an opportunity there. The beautiful thing is, and we talked about this, Hank, before we started the webinar, the fact is your competition won't do it. And many of you guys won't do it, but some of you will, and you'll see things change dramatically for you. That's where the opportunity is. So it's giving us time. The one thing we want to have is more time, and we choose to take that time and spend more time with our clients. We're not using this technology to, stop having relationships and stop being face-to-face. We're using it to streamline our other things so we can spend more time with clients, more time helping people through the complicated process of buying and selling homes. So it's a huge win.
Great. Yeah, and you can start small, right? You don't have to tackle the whole enchilada at once, and just set realistic goals for what time you have to set aside to getting this underway for your own website. And Michael will point this out. I know you're going to talk about this in your demo, that you do need to confirm the output and correct it. It's not always going to be 100%. It'll get you maybe 80% of the way there, but that 80% is a huge benefit, and it will learn. If you correct it, it won't make the same mistake, and you can continue refining it. And I know you're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So with that, why don't I just set you up so you can
Sure.
share what you'd like to share. And just give me one moment here.
So we're going to, just everyone listening, we're going to go live, and I'm going to show you exactly how we used ChatGPT to build out our community pages. And we're going to give you, or you're going to be able to download, I think you'll get an email, this exact prompt. And what I've done is I've made the prompts that you need to create this content generic. And all you have to do is fill in the blanks. I put them in red, and then you can go ahead and use them. And so just an example of what we did, we broke our communities down into boroughs. This is our Langley Townhome page, and this is for the all of Langley Townhome page. And there's a little bit of a write-up there. Then we have our IDX there. And then when we get down to the bottom, we have some more information. There we go. We have a call to action. And then we've got a Q&A, which SEO loves Q&A, and ChatGPT helped me write all this too as well. But it's in these pages that we're going to create. So we have these 6 communities in our marketplace, and each one of townhomes, condos, and houses have their own pages. So very quickly, we built out 18 different community pages. So I pop in here, Walnut Grove Townhomes. This is what we're going to have ChatGPT create for us right now, is this. So it's just an intro. Once again, a link to Walnut Grove, which is our overall community information about Walnut Grove. And then we have just Walnut Grove Townhomes in this search, right? So they're already further down that search intent. And then we talk about the Walnut Grove real estate market. You can see here, you can view the market report, which is that great market report. And all you do is when you press it, it just zooms you back up to the top of the page. That's really easy. ChatGPT can show you how to do that. And so there's, there's the market report there. We don't have sold information in Canada. And then all this information here, buying a townhome, your perfect guide, location, layout, space, all this information, all these keywords are all built out automatically with a prompt that you're going to have. Search now there and contact us. So you have all these individual pages. We're going to make 18 of them, and then you can create content like this. We found out that there was a huge search intent for the best neighborhoods in Walnut Grove. So now we're able to write an article very quickly about these 6 boroughs. We're going to talk about Murrayville, Brookswood, all this right here. And then all this information, I just said, ask ChatGPT, please ask me 20 questions about each neighborhood that I'll answer for you. And then you can create this content. But in this content, you have that search for houses, search for townhomes, search for condos. And so we're getting really specific. Once again, I'm going to search for Fort Langley houses, go there for sale, and it will look exactly like, but different information than the information about Walnut Grove Townhomes. So that's what we're going to do. And this is why you'll set apart. If you go and search your neighborhood and your type of home, you'll find out that 90, probably more than that, of the results are just the IDX feed and nothing else, just this, right? And so this is why we want to position ourselves as an expert. So we're going to pop over to ChatGPT, and this is the way that it looks. This is, here's all my previous chats on the side that I've spoken about. I'm just going to close that down. And here's why I just asked the question of what I want to create. And I can just put my query in there. And Hank said, start small. That's how I started back in December when I started going down the rabbit hole. I was like, can it do this? And just asked it a question, and it gave me results, which only encouraged me to use it more. And then I started to talk to some of my colleagues that were using it. How are you using it? And now there's great webinars like this that will help you get there quicker. But this is how we're going to do it. So this is the prompt that you guys are going to get word for word. Let me just put this. I think I can put this down. If I leave the screen, you let me know, Hank. So I've broken this prompt down into 3 prompts. And what we need to do is we need to provide ChatGPT context And I've written this for you. And the first one is the expert that we want to talk to. Act as a highly skilled real estate copywriter. So there you go. You have a deep understanding of the Langley, BC real estate market. On your prompt, that's blank. You put in your information, and then it's going to tell them a little bit about the skills: writing skills, creative thinker, attention to details. And this is a magical thing here. Do you understand? So we're going to end the prompt with, if you understand, respond only with I understand. When you're sitting across the table from an SEO expert or a copywriter, and you're explaining the 18 pages that you want on your community page with IDX information, the person will be nodding. You will see all those social cues, right? Right now, I can't see Hank because I have my page open. But if I could see Hank nodding his head right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm making sense, right?
I'm nodding.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. So by asking ChatGPT if they understand your instructions, you now know, okay, I can move on to the next step. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. Guys are going to get a copy of this. And we'll pop over to ChatGPT and we'll insert it right here. So there's that prompt. Do you understand? And it should just respond with, I understand. I understand. Good. Now
Have you ever seen it say, no, I don't?
It will ask, you know what, I've been doing, Hank, too, as well. I've been like, if more clarity is needed, please ask me before proceeding to the next step. And sometimes it says, well, what did you mean by this? How can I help you with this? And it's really, really intuitive. Like, I've started to change some of my prompts with, if there is information you would like to make the output even better, please ask me before proceeding, which is a great prompt. And it's amazing how normal, how human, and that's the scary part, how human it behaves. I've seen it ask for more information.
Sure.
So prompt number 2, we're going to tell them now about the project. We are now talking to a real estate copywriter that has an expertise in my marketplace. We've sat down with the expert, and now we're going to explain the expert what we're trying to achieve. And it says, we are embarking on an exciting project to enrich our content on our website, specifically targeting dedicated pages for various communities within Langley, BC. Pages will include Walnut Grove, Fort Langan, Maryville, Brookswood, and Aldergrove. On your prompt that you will get, these are marked in red, and you just have to fill out that details. Pages will be of townhomes, condos, and homes, respectively. There'll be 18 pages in total here, targeting 18 pages. Our primary objective is to enhance our SEO and search engine while providing high value content for our user. Once again, basically explaining what Hank and I just been talking about. And then for us, little things like this won't be in your prompt because it's specific to us, but you can definitely add it. It's essential to note that in Langley, BC real estate market, the terms condo and apartment are interchangeable. And so I was able to give it specifically detailed information about my marketplace. Therefore, when writing content for the condo pages, you should consider the potential visitors might also be using the term apartment when searching for that type of property. So it'll use both terms for you and just improve your SEO. And now here's where we tell how we want the voice and tone and style to be. It's very, very important that we're not creating disconnect between you and the consumer. If I'm reading all your content for all your community pages, and you are a super dry factual writer, or if you're a very engaging creative writer, when I meet you, if there is a disconnect from the person I think you are and who you actually are, you're creating a lack of trust. And instinctively we'll know, oh, this person isn't as funny or as lighthearted or not as serious or as factual. And so we want to have all of our output reflect our writing style to reinforce the relationship we are going to have with them when we finally sit down. And that's very, very important. And so we have a prompt, and I can send it to you, Hank, about how to determine what popular writer writes like you. Not to write like the popular writer, but so it writes like you. And after I did the prompt a number of times, I found out that we write as a team in the voice of David Allen, who's an American productivity consultant. And so it's just saying, when you write like this. And if you understand, respond with I understand. Like I said, you're going to get all these prompts with just blank things to fill out. And then you'll see how powerful this is. Once again, I'm doing this live. And you will see right now, sometimes it'll mess up, and I'm okay with that, but there's that prompt in there saying what we're trying to achieve. And now it will read that, and it says, I understand. Great. So now we have the person we're sitting with, we have our overall goal, and now we can say, this is the output that I want you to have. And so this is what we want the dad. Execute the following for one of the pages of the project described above. We want a title tag and a meta description. This is where you're going to add this into your website. Meta description is that synopsis that comes up in Google when they search for it. The title tag isn't the title of the page, but the title of the SEO associated with that page. And so we want that title tag to be community Walnut Grove homes or townhomes for sale. So there's a consistency to that if that's the search. We want them to write an introduction. We want them to do a real estate overview of the particular neighborhood with a particular type of home. So this is type of home in that community. So it's just not an overview of townhomes, condos, and houses. It's of just houses or just townhomes. Buying a condo in Walnut Grove, offer useful tips and advice for purchasing that type of home in that specific community, neighborhood highlights, call to action, SEO optimization. Now, how did I come up with this prompt? It's amazing because all you're doing is reverse engineering. All you do is you sit down with an SEO expert on ChatGPT instead of a copywriter, and you say, describe to me the perfect community page and list it, number it, tell me what's about, and then give me a description about what that page would be. So it wrote, I would start with an introduction. I would begin with an engaging intro. Great. So it told me what to write, and all I did was I took that from the SEO expert on ChatGPT, and now I'm just giving it to the copywriter. So it's creating its own prompts. Describe the perfect social media post for a homecoming soon. The perfect social media post will be this. Great. Take that and say, now social media content creator, write a social media post for this coming soon property and follow these instructions. And so ChatGPT is just writing its own content.
And
down here at the
Michael,
bottom, yeah.
Just a quick question to clarify for everybody. When they get these prompts later in the download that we're going to provide, the content in the brackets is what they're going to be entering, type of home or community name, just to be crystal clear.
Yeah, on that, there's a couple of those sections. If it's in brackets and it's not in red, and hopefully you can set it in red, you see right here at the very, very bottom of the prompt, community equals, and then type of home equals. Yeah. So everywhere the word community shows up, it will be replaced with your community, and anywhere where the type of home shows up, that will be placed in here. And we've said also include relevant SEO friendly, engaging H1, H2, and H3 titles. Use the voice and tone of David Allen. You can switch that to your writer. And then all we're going to do is do community and type of home. That's all we have to do. So let's go ahead and copy this. And now this is where this is hopefully 4 or 5 of you will be like, oh my goodness, when you see this happen. Oh, edit, undo. I think
you missed the E on execute.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Real estate copywriter. So we'll go in here. We'll paste that in here. We'll go to the very top. You know what? It probably still would have done it anyway, but execute. So here's
it would have figured it out.
Here's the prompt. And now here we're going to go the community. All I'm going to do is type Walnut Grove, which is one of those 8 boroughs. And let's do type of home. Let's do townhome. And watch this magic happen. Fingers crossed it works for us, Hank. Here we go.
Certainly.
Title tag, Walnut Grove homes, townhomes for sale. Followed that exact layout that we wanted it. Here's the meta description. Discover your dream townhome in Walnut Grove. Explored variety of styles, pricing ranges, and perfect blend of suburban tranquility and urban amenities, which is Walnut Grove. Click to find out townhomes perfect for you. Introduction, H2 heading, even tells you what the heading should be. The enticing charm of Walnut Grove townhomes. Walnut Grove is not just a community, it's a lifestyle. Nestled in picturesque setting, townhomes in Walnut Grove offer the perfect blend of balance. Blah, 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 blah. Real estate overview. Townhomes in Walnut Grove offer diverse range of options from contemporary designs to family layout. The average price of the town in this community is around $650,000. Be mindful of that, but that is about right. But it's not the whole story. Your guide to find a home. Buying a townhome is more than an investment. It's a journey place. Call home when you're looking for a spacious garden, for the kids a modern kitchen. Living in Walnut Grove, through Walnut Grove Park. Yeah. Then coffee from your favorite local barista. Yes, we got tons of it. Looking for entertainment. Community offers regular performances. Walnut Grove townhomes living. Convenience meets charm. Then call to action is ready to find your Walnut Grove home. It's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about building. Blah, 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 blah. So there we go. We've got one page done with all that information, and we could say expand on that. And then if we come back up here and we click this little button here, I can re-edit this page. Now I can go down here, and all I have to do is take out the word Walnut Grove and put in the word Fort Langley.
Same prompt, or you're just changing
Same prompt, and then take out the word
bits of
home.
information,
Townhome.
and that's what everybody here can start running with. I mean, it's pretty. I think I heard a mic drop earlier. You know, it's pretty amazing.
So now all I'll do is just change the one word Fort Langley to the one word houses. Now we're going to get a page for a different community and a different style of home. We'll do save and submit. Fort Langley houses for sale. Your dream home awaits an historical community. Yes, it's the first province or the capital of British Columbia. It's amazing. All the movies you guys see out of Canada are filmed just down the street from me in Fort Langley. Fort Langley is more than just a place. A journey back in time. Historic village offers unparalleled living experience, a unique blend of cultural heritage and more modern amenities. I just said that it's a heritage and it knew that. Appealing destination. With an average price of about 1.3 million, range from architectural gems to contemporary masterpieces. And you could always take out these prices and just say, to get a current thing, click your market report for your page, and it just go there. That way it's always updated. Rich history. And you can go through here and you look at like all the keywords, like Fort Langley National Historic Site. Like the historic site of the old fort is right there. It's where people come from all over the place to go. It does have exceptional schools. It has an amazing shopping district. It is the most unique neighborhood in my place. Once again, call to action right there. Call us today. You're going to link that to your Call Us Now page or contact us now on your website. And then throughout the content, the primary keyword Fort Langley houses for sale has been seamlessly integrated. Care has been taken to ensure that natural flow, enhancing both readability and SEO performance. The unique narrative of Fort Langley sets this section apart and align with the goals, providing value to avoid. I hope this content aligns with your requirements, capturing the essence of Fort Langley. There we go. And Hank, I could go in here and type apartments and then condos, and then this could be Willoughby, townhouses, houses, condos, and just go.
Sure.
I could just go all day long. And this is,
yeah.
18 pages seems like it. Like you could understand, Hank, why if I had to sit down and craft this on myself until AI comes along, and all of a sudden IDX is just completely different because you get all this SEO, and we've seen our numbers just climb because if I were to search Walnut Grove townhomes for sale, it wouldn't just not be the same. And there you go. You can just move to the next one. And then we sprinkled it, like I said, in all of our blog posts. We just look for reasons to include it in our blog. Everywhere we go where we mention a community, we'll just quickly add a little link, and it goes back. Right here. This is the page that we just made, Fort Langley homes for sale. And it goes there, and all that information is there, and the search is particular for that neighborhood, and you can see the prices, are like accurate. And
I do want to point out for those on the call who may not be familiar with how our accounts work. So you can create what we call a market, which is our term for a saved search, which is what you've done here, and then embed that. So you're obviously dealing with a custom page here on your site to get all this content on there. And then you can embed the saved, what we call a market. You can embed that onto a custom page with a script. So you just go into your account, you create the market with the parameters you want for whatever the geography, whatever the location is. You can have price ranges too. You can break it down however you want. It could be as granular as you'd like it to be. And then once that market's created, you have a script you can use to embed it within a page.
Yeah, and then I really hope that, you know, like I said, 3 or 4 of you go, oh, well, I can see what the format of that prompt was that Michael gave me. Now I want to go and do this next project. I want to, you know, describe whatever the best businesses in town or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There couldn't be a more accurate description of the term "scratch the surface" than this particular webinar. Because the things you can do with ChatGPT, uploading your database to it, giving it files, analyzing. I mean, it made a movie for me the other day just as a test. You know, I gave it some photos and it made me, you know, an MP4 video. The opportunities are just absolutely endless. And Hank, and not to scare people, but to encourage those 4. There are 2 losers and 2 winners when it comes to this technology, because this is 1996 internet. We're just getting started. It's just scratching the surface. There will be those people that ignore it and they will lose, because for every hour they put out there, I put out 5. And those are people that will use it and use it poorly, where they don't match their voice, they don't edit it, they don't make sure it's relevant, they don't keep the consumer in mind. Am I really providing value, or am I just spamming? Those people will ultimately lose, because as a society, we'll become much more skeptical and aware of AI generated content that doesn't have heart and soul to it. And then there's also people that will use it and will use it well. And those people will win in a dramatic way, the same way anyone who still doesn't use the internet, which I heard in 1995, I was young at the time, and my colleagues at office goes, oh, I won't participate in the internet. Well, every single one of those people are gone. There's no one in our industry who doesn't use the internet now. I mean, that's insane. And the same thing will happen here. Either you can ignore it, and then fine, I'll do it just to stay up with everyone so I don't become irrelevant, or you can use it now and see our graph of our search go from here to like here. And I sent you that graph. It's just, I mean, we've 5 times our traffic with half the effort, not even that, a fraction of the effort that we were putting in it in previous years, because it's just so efficient. It's just so efficient.
Yeah. And I'm sure people on the webinar can see that this could easily be used to create blog posts, and you mentioned that, but they're always, starting with a blank page. Anybody, even if you're a seasoned copywriter, starting with a blank page and say, okay, what's going to be in my post, and getting the words on the page. This is, you could sit down an hour a week and crank out probably several blog posts that you queue up, and then you post those over the next several weeks and link to them in your social media channels. I mean, this is, like you said, the tip of the iceberg for what you can do with it.
Yeah, and now too as well, and it's pro versus regular ChatGPT, and I encourage everyone to start with a free, and you'll see it's so overwhelmingly valuable, and it's so productive that you'd be crazy not to spend money on it. But now the ChatGPT 4 has internet access. It can go online. So once you've got this web page created, you can then say to ChatGPT, go check out this web page about Walnut Grove townhomes for sale on my website, and write me 3 social media posts in an engaging, fun way that will drive traffic to the purpose of this page. That's all you have to do. It will go to the page, it will read your page, and then it will say, okay, here's 3 posts. I mean, you don't even have to tell you don't even have to write, my page is about SEO and it highlights the Walnut Grove town. No, here's my page, write 3 social media posts for it. Write a LinkedIn article. When your local real estate board comes out with their stats every month, just send that link to ChatGPT and say, write me a LinkedIn post about the current market in my neighborhood.
Beautiful.
Using this voice, and it will just do it. Then you post it on your website, and then you link, searching for homes at the bottom of. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. And like I said, this is the ultimate scratch the surface, but I think if you go there and you create a page and it writes, like right now, the people watching Hank don't know Fort Langley. They don't know how accurate the information that it provided is, how on the nose it is, how that's the way people would describe this community. But type in your own community and it comes back and you just go, and it won't be perfect, but it'll be 80 to 85% of the way there. And you'll just go, oh, I can clean this up in a half an hour. The opportunities are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I hope that has come through in this Scratch the Surface webinar for people.
Well, a really exciting demo. I think you just hit the nail on the head with all these points about how fast and intuitive it can be and accurate. So yeah, just pretty mind-boggling. I would like to jump into questions. I know we've gone over. I see that most people have been able to hang around. Sorry, we did get over for everybody, but there's a lot to talk about. We were on the fence. Should this be 30 minutes or 60 minutes? We could go for hours, actually. But
yeah, I'm going out to Iowa and to the conference out there next month, and I'm doing 2 hours of digging deep. And they're like, "How much can you get done in 2 hours?" I'm like, "I can scratch the surface." It's such a big topic. It's such a big topic that you can only do so much.
Yeah. I'm going to leave you as I'm going to give you the option to continue sharing in case one of these questions requires some sharing. Wow. Okay. Mert has a bunch of questions. Thank you, Mert. Appreciate that. It's a whole lot of questions.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like thanks, Mert. Mert is ready to get going with this. Just give me one moment here. I'm going to blow up my screen so I can read this. Okay, starting with how do we create super local neighborhoods like the neighborhoods within the city without drawing on the map? Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's more of an IDX question.
Yeah.
As far as getting specific listings. Well, you have two choices with the way that any data works. As far as getting MLS data, you have if it's defined as a region or a location in the MLS and listings are accurately uploaded with the right listing location categorization, that's on the agent to enter that correctly in the MLS, because what we get is what's in the MLS. So there's the location defined by an MLS, and if it's not defined by the MLS and available as a field for you to select as a location, then you do have to draw on the map. That's why we have that option, because there are many different reasons and instances why drawing on the map is a good workaround for locations that aren't well defined. People do that all the time. There might be a specific condo or very very detailed location, and they can draw on the map to define that. Another question. How is it possible to outrank high domain authority website like Zillow, Trulia, and other global brokerages on neighborhood, cities, homes for sale keywords?
Just that. When you create content that's specific, Zillow's never ever doing a review of your local community center. They're never highlighting, the best 5 neighborhoods. They're not doing that content. They can't and they won't. And I also think when you're looking for specific things, it's psychology of the consumer, that when they see the word Zillow and they see another person that's Langley real estate agent and they're answering the questions, that's a person they can actually get to ultimately. We don't have a lead generation problem in our industry. We have a lead conversion problem in our industry. And the point is they're looking for an expert. They're looking for someone that's going to help them actually sit across the table from them eventually. And Zillow won't do that. And I think we understand the difference between buying something on Amazon and going to a local mom and pop shop that explains exactly what every little thing is. I think you might do your initial conversation and contact and research on Amazon, but then you go to your local mom and pop shop if they offer it. And real estate, no matter how tech we get, and I'm a super tech guy, it will come down to relationships, and it'll come down to handshakes, and it'll come down to trust. And you're creating that. So we find ourselves ranked number 1 or number 2 in a lot of the search terms we go after. We're also very, very aware, Hank, not to try to go after search terms we can't compete for. There's a great little platform called Low Fruits. And what Low Fruits does is it analyzes your website and what sort of juice you have already. And it says, here's where you can beat your competition. And when we were doing these search pages, we were able to beat our competition because if you go to 95% of them, it's just embedded IDX, and there's just no other value there. And that's why you win. You'll see on our pages, like I said, here's another, I'll pop over, I know that we're still sharing on mine. If I go to menu and I go to Walnut Grove, or even, Walnut Grove Homes for Sale, or Langley Homes for Sale, this is the overall arching page. I mean, here there is, this navigate your path. This is the home buyer for sale guide that we created because ChatGPT works, and where you can get all the information, about buying a home, everything you need to know about buying a home in Langley. And if you go there, it's a blog, it's a long blog post, but it's 10,000 words about your ultimate, this is not, Zillow's not doing this. And so you're able to then create more value and have them stay on longer. I hope people aren't going to your website. I mean, we understand it because of the mortgage. A mortgage broker hates when the phone rings and it says, what's your best rate? That's not the same as, can you help me understand what neighborhood has the best school for my music loving teenager, like where they should go to school, where their education could be. I mean, you can beat people because no one else is doing it. Just go look in your neighborhood, do a quick search. Yep. Type in your neighborhood, like a smaller community, and type in the word townhome, home, or condo for sale, and then go through the top 10, and you'll go, oh, this is easy. It is easy.
How are you doing on time, Michael? We have
I have no hard out. I'd answer questions to the end of time. If people do have to leave, and I make this offer if I'm on stage in front of 8,000 people or I'm on a webinar with you guys, if you have a question, you can hunt me down on Facebook Messenger. I will answer your questions as best I possibly can. But obviously, this is a great forum to do it right now. If you want the prompts, I'm going to send any of my prompts that you guys want to iHomeFinder, and so you'll be able to get it through them. But
yeah, in case you missed the front end of this webinar, everybody who has registered for the webinar will receive an email by the end of the day today, which means by 5 p.m. Pacific, around that time frame at the latest. And that email will have a link to watch the recording and some additional content summarizing the webinar and whatever downloads we have for you with the prompts that we've been talking about today.
Yeah, but you can bring me all the questions you got. I love this part.
Okay. So can you list the website? Oh, sure. Listed in the previous slide. I'm sure that was referring to your site. So we'll mention that in the follow-up. Yeah, TMB Real Estate. Let's see. Does ChatGPT create unique content for each user? Okay. For instance,
so much so, Hank, so much so that if it writes something amazing and you don't copy and paste it, or you leave it in the chat, you will never get that perfect expression back. And this is why, once again, it's even more important to have voice, because you want it to write in your voice. So ChatGPT it doesn't have canned responses. It's not based on that. The information that you give it fundamentally changes what it outputs. If I were to run, well, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's pop back over to, we'll do it real quick. So this is your real estate copywriter. The first response was, discover Fort Langley, a community rich with history. Right? That's probably something it's going to have. And Fort Langley is more than just a place, it's a journey back in time. So if I go back up here and I go regenerate response, it will rewrite it, and just let's see how much different it will be. Once again, with the exact same prompt, with the exact same. Now this stuff will be the same because we've asked it to structure it the same. So I'm not worried about the title tag and meta description because we've given it so much. There you go. An oasis of comfort and heritage, completely different. And then the first line, Fort Langley, a charming community with a rich history, offers some of the finest houses you'll find. There you go, picturesque tree-lined streets. That is an absolutely different response with the exact same prompt. And so, you know, you'll never get the same response. You'll never get the same response.
Great. Yeah, it was a great question.
Great question.
Yeah, people are dying to know like specifics of the results you've gotten, and we don't want to, you know, your mileage may vary with all of the stuff, of
Yes.
course. And so whatever you feel like sharing about ranking, the results of, you know, your SEO changes, I guess, is what people are really interested in.
Yeah, I mean,
understanding.
it's SEO is a bit of a long game, but we never played it before. We were never really playing it until AI came along, and then I mean we'd always been creating content, but not so passionately like we're doing it right now, because we can create so much content in a short amount of time. Before May, we were averaging about 350 unique visitors a day. And now we're up around 5,500, 6,000 in a blink of an eye. And that snowball, we're going to keep pushing down the hill. And I'll choose down the hill because it's so much easier now than it was before than up the hill. So it's just dramatically different. And we've built our business on repeat and referral. That's where we've built our business. And what we did is we found out that we had extra hours in the day to tackle other projects because ChatGPT made us so efficient in every aspect of what we do. I mean, I showed it to the team back in January, and our amazing assistant Jody, in the first sentence, said, "Now there's 4 of me." Like that's like the idea that you can hire 4 assistants for the same price as your one. And she said it instantly. There's 4 of me. And if that one expression of the opportunity, and this is back in January, doesn't excite people, you know, that's where the opportunity is. So the question is, if you do it now, and there's 4 of you now, great. And then eventually the rest of the marketplace will catch up. But hopefully you're so far ahead that people can't catch up. And SEO is a bit of a long game, but it's way shorter. And I just showed you how to make 18 SEO optimized pages before, well, it's 12:24 right now, before the end of the day. So I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it really is. Question about whether or not your prompts that we're going to share later today with everybody who registered, if those can be used in the free version. The answer is yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. There's this, and that's important to know. So now with this model here, and it's even in the free version, there's custom instructions in here, and so you don't have to pre-prime it with what it is. But this is our role of a real estate copywriter, and I can give you guys the prompt. You know, and I've worked very, very hard on building up these prompts, but you can very easily create these custom instructions for real estate business coach, for a social media marketing manager. So when you come in here, and I'll show you if we've got a second. If I turn this off and I press save, and I come over here and I go into even let's go ChatGPT 4, and I go, what do we do and why do we do it? ? And I copy that because I'm going to use it twice. And I press the button, it will give me the question of what do, and what do is a broad, philosophical, encompassing range, human activities, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't know the context, but if I come over here and just turn on my custom instructions, every search will already have this information in it. So if I go to new chat and I go, what do we do and why do we do it? Watch how different the response is. Oh, because it's still generating the other response. It can only do one response at a time. So let me just, here we go. Certainly. The purpose and function of the Thorn Macy Bongers Real Estate Group in Langley, BC. The real estate copywriter, a dive down. What do we do? Thorn Macy Bongers, a tale of 70 plus years worth of real estate experience, crafting information, yada, yada, yada. We've given it context. The prompt that I've given you guys that you guys get through iHome Finder doesn't require custom instructions. I've built it into the prompt. But once you have that prompt built out, you would only need, let me go back here to this. You'd only need prompt number 3, because I guess you could put some of this, but you wouldn't need to tell them what your writing style was or your voice. You wouldn't have to tell them that you're a highly skilled copywriter. But I will give you a prompt, and here we go, universal custom prompt. This is how, prompt 1, how you can create these different personas for anything that you want. And at the end, all you have to do is you're looking for a social media manager, and I did this for my buddy Bruce. Bruce Johnson in Wasaga Beach. And so it will create, this could be a real estate coach for Tom Thompson in, I don't know, San Diego. This could be anything you want. So we create your different personalities and show you how serious we are about this. In our GPT section, here's our persona for our copywriter. Here's our persona for our digital marketing manager. Here's our persona for our digital marketing persona. There we go. Here's our SEO expert. Here's our market analysis and content specialist. So here's our copywriter. So you create these personalities for you, and you just switch between the experts like that, like real quick. But the prompts that I've given you will work in 3.5. I've tried to make it as easy as I possibly can. Sorry, I rambled there, Hank.
No, that's really insightful. I mean, we didn't touch on any of that earlier,
but I'll make sure I worked really hard on that prompt. It's amazing. I'll give that to you, and it will just spit out all the experts you want all day long by just, once again, changing the information at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, it's like you're in a virtual environment creating avatars for yourself and different personalities.
Yeah, you're hiring all your different experts. Exactly. It's
right.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Okay, we have some more questions. A number of them. Are there copyright concerns?
No. Yes. No. I've taken all the information that I've ever had and I've put it into plagiarism checker. The most it's ever plagiarized is 2%. The way copyright works is with AI, be it images through like Midjourney or content. You can't copyright something that AI has created. You can't copyright it unless you dramatically or substantially alter its output. The same way Weird Al Yankovic can copyright someone else's music. They've changed it, or a news broadcast can change it. So once again, get it to 80%, put your stamp on it. At that point, it becomes copywritten, but you are not in any concern of taking someone else's copywriting work. You're not responsible for what it puts out as far as someone else saying, that's my content. The best I've seen in a plagiarism checker is 2%, which is absolutely nothing. Where people will get in trouble will be, students. And just so we know, SEO wise, this is another thing, maybe a question is going to answer it. Google has come out and said, we are okay with AI content. We are not going to punish AI content as long as it's useful and valuable. And that's the whole point of this whole webinar, was to help be useful to the consumers that are out there. So as long as your content is useful, doesn't matter if it fails an AI checker. It doesn't matter if it fails an AI checker. I think it matters if it fails a plagiarism checker. But as long as what you're providing is of value, you got no problems with SEO right now.
Great. Do you have any experience with Chatbox?
Chatbox, no, I don't know. Oh,
okay.
Is this another rabbit hole I'm going to go down? We've definitely used chatbots in the past. We've built out programs with a program called ManyChat in the past, and I don't know if it's Chatbox or Chatbot. If it's a chatbot, I mean, you can just ask it to create something amazing for you, give it some information. Once again, what's going to happen here in the next couple of years is it'll be staggering what's going to happen.
Right, a whole bunch of products based on all of this. Yeah. Next question, are you using a tool to check if your posts are human and not AI?
Yeah, there you go. So there, originality.ai, or no, originality. Let me go back to here. It is Let me just hide this down here. Which one do I use? Original. Are you guys going to see all my bookmarks? Maybe I have it up here. Oh, originality.ai. This is where I go to check.
Originality.ai.
AI. There's a lot of free checkers. I'm more concerned, once again, and I just said it, I'm more concerned about plagiarism than AI. You can buy credits in here, but there's a lot of free AI checkers out there. But I'm more concerned. I'm not a student. I'm not worried about getting busted. I'm concerned with the perception of copywritten material out there, and I don't ever want to run afoul of a colleague that I respect or anyone in this business and have the perception that I've taken their content. So I'm more concerned about my reputation in the industry rather than what Google thinks about it.
Okay. I think this is which ChatGPT version is that can go online and read your site?
That's so that's and we can do that right now. So this is this website about the ultimate guide for buying a home, and we can do this real quick for you. That's ChatGPT 4 new chat, ChatGPT 4 with beta plugins, and I use this plugin called Web Browser, probably the best one that I have. Visit this page and write 3 Facebook posts to drive traffic. Use emojis, just so people can see it's fun. Use emojis, and then I'll just copy and paste that URL in there. And once again, this is what I'm talking about. The cost of upgrading to 4 is so simple. So there it is. It's going to the website here, and it's going to read the website. It's going to read all the content, and then it's based on that. And once again, based on the personality that, remember, we still have our copywriter personality writing, right? That's all I had to say. I didn't have to give it, a detail that knows that we're the Thorne Mazie Bongers Real Estate Group. Post number 1, your path to a dream, home in Walnut Grove, embarking on your journey of home ownership in Langley, BC. Our step-by-step guide is key to unlocking the door, yada, yada, yada. And it even puts a link to that blog right there, and I could copy and paste that. Once again, check it, but I could put that right back into right on Facebook. So these are the things, like when we're getting into these details, the opportunity is just, and it'll just keep writing. And it'll just pull information out of that page that you've already created, and it only helps you create more content and drive traffic to this information. I could do 8 hours, I could do 10 hours, and you wouldn't even get where you want it to go. So it's staggering, but yeah, that's ChatGPT 4 to answer your question in a long.
Great, and just by coincidence, the following question immediately after that was related to the same topic. So Nick has ChatGPT 4, and if he pasted an active web page and got a following message, I cannot directly access. I think he's wondering what he's doing wrong to get ChatGPT 4 to access the page.
Perfect. So what's the name again?
Nick.
Nick. You're going to come down here to your profile, Nick, where it says Michael Thorne. You're going to open this up, and under beta settings, you're going to come in here and you're going to turn on plugins. You're going to turn that on, right? So there you go. Once plugins are on, you're going to pop over here to a new chat. And here's your 3 options. You've got the default. You've got code interpreter, which is ridiculous. We don't even have time to get in that. Or you come down here to plugins. You choose plugins, and you can have one of 3. You can have 3 plugins enabled at a time. The one that gets you to the internet, the only one I really use, and there's like now 1,000 plugins, is called Web Pilot. And once you have Web Pilot installed, it's off to the races. It can
what you were just demonstrating. Yeah. You
That's
have to just get that beta feature enabled and then get the plugin in there.
Yep. And it's free. I mean, the plugins are free once you have your paid account.
Okay, lots of questions about getting the prompts in the video. I'll just reiterate, everybody who registered will receive an email before the end of the day today.
And what I will do, Hank, I will send you the prompt to decide what writer you speak most like. So I'll send you that prompt too as well. So not only will you get the community page prompt, I'll give you my voice prompt, or the writer prompt, and I'll also send you the prompt that all you have to do is to create the personas that you can put in your custom instructions. And it is my understanding that custom instructions here is what I'm talking about. Custom instructions here are available in the free and in the paid version, and it's an absolute game changer. You saw how quickly I was able to get to a social media buying guide post here without having to tell it, it's a copywriter, you work for a team of real estate agents in Langley, this is who they are. It went straight to creating content because it already knew who it was. So I will send you that too, and you can make any persona you want. That's relevant to how you speak, and even tell it, I speak like this author, and just have that, the output. So I will send you those two as well, Hank, so that you can put
Oh,
those
that's
out.
fabulous. Yeah, thanks so much. I'm sure everybody's going to appreciate that. Yeah, and if people aren't already aware that there's a paid and a free version of ChatGPT, the paid version I think is $20, so it's not a huge expense. If there's anything that you're itching to have, that's
$20 a month is cheaper than hiring 3 more assistants.
Yeah.
And that's basically the ROI of it. So it's pretty phenomenal. It's a no-brainer.
Somebody has asked, Amit has asked, how much difference have you seen in the content produced between ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 for his paid version?
Yeah, not a dramatic difference. ChatGPT 4 hallucinates less, and what I mean by hallucinates, and this is something you guys ought to be aware of, and that's why Hank put that, make sure you check. It will convince you that it's right. It will just say something in such a convincing tone that you believe the information. It is our job as local experts to say, you know what? No, my neighborhood doesn't have a performing arts school. No, it doesn't have these features. That's your job to go back there and correct that because you're the expert. ChatGPT 4 seems to hallucinate less. It will say, hey, I don't know that answer. But there are, apparently, ChatGPT is coming out now in the next couple of months where it will be constantly updated. Right now, the cutoff knowledge is September 2021. So if it happened after September 2021, it doesn't know the information. It doesn't know who won the Super Bowl last year unless you're connected to the internet. And so not a huge difference. I think ChatGPT 4 is better at the finer details. It's better at coding. But as far as creating language, like blog posts and stuff, 3.5 is great. And one of the things is once you start using 3.5, as I did, because I started using it before paid version came out, you'll see its value so quickly that it's pretty easy to go, okay, now I want to go to the next level. And so everything that's available in 3.5 used to be available. We just all paid is I'm getting it 2 weeks before you get it. I'm getting it a month before you get it. It'll end up on your doorstep. I'm just getting a bit of an edge. And at the beginning, it was so hard to get on because it was so popular so fast that paid meant you went to the front of the queue. And because we use ChatGPT, all 4 of us, Jordan, Trish, myself, and our assistant, every single day, that we didn't want to sit around waiting for it. It was just too valuable. So we paid to just actually front of the queue is basically why we did it.
Got it. Let's see here. Oh, where did you find the plugins to add within ChatGPT? I think you just walked us all through that.
Yeah.
And okay, and then the other question was about accessing external URL. So next question we got to Nick. Yeah, it looks like that's everything, Michael.
Perfect. So I will fire off those other prompts, guys. So you'll not only get the prompt to create the community pages, I'll send you off the prompt that'll help you understand your voice. It's a very, very simple prompt to do. It's kind of fun to figure it out. And then I will also send you out how to create custom instructions, custom personas. And once again, that's a multi-part prompt, 1, 2, and 3. You just go there and you fill in the blanks and then tweak it. If you think that that you want the outputs to be a little bit different or a little bit more serious or a little bit more lighthearted or whatever, you just tweak that to your liking.
Excellent. Wow. And just to remind everyone, we will have an email sent to you by the end of the day from iHomeFinder. Michael's not sending that to you directly. we will make these prompts available as a download and as well as the webinar recording. So we're really thrilled to have you here today, Michael, to share all this really great information. I know everybody was wowed and loved it, and I did too. And maybe we can have you again to talk about some more questions that I'm sure we're going to get coming in after this webinar.
Anytime, Hank. Anytime. I just so if I don't know if people aren't, and I get paid nothing from iHomeFinder. I don't take affiliate links of any kind. You guys have been phenomenal. The value of having the search right there amongst the content is just incredible. There's no reason for people to go anywhere else once you have both those things, the content, valuable content, and the ability to search. I've been blown away about the results of iHomeFinder. It's been incredible. So it's an honor to do a webinar with you guys. You guys are a great company full of great people.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And this has just been a phenomenal webinar and eye-opening, I'm sure, for a lot of people. And we just want everyone to take advantage of it and get it to work on their sites. So we're going to try to make that as easy as possible. So thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time. I know it's tough to take time out of your busy day. And watch for our email coming up later by the end of the day today. And have a great day, everyone. Thanks again, Michael.
No problem. Anytime, Hank.